the Energy Boutique with your energy forecast for Friday, October 27th. So today we have the moon in Aries all day, and of course, being the very first sign of the zodiac, a cardinal fire sign at that, we're looking to initiate. We're looking to jump into something new. We're all riled up. We're bold. We're brave. We're courageous. We want to take the lead. We want to express ourselves. We want to bring something new to life. But of course, we are in eclipse season. We are not in control. Of course, we have to surrender that control to the karmic timelines that are currently playing out. This is not a time for action. This is a time of observation. This is a time of simmering, percolating, if you will, in our inner realms where we are bringing new ideas, new passions, new desires into our realization. Now, the Aries energy always kind of gives us restlessness, ants in our pants. We don't really want to sit still. We want to take action. We want to jump into new things, even when we know we're not supported in doing so. So having patience is very, very hard to do at this particular point in time. Resisting the urges, the temptations, the impulses, very tough to do at this time. And because we're moving into the full moon window that, of course, we will be having on Saturday, October 28th, there's a new illumination on what it is that we actually want to do with ourselves, what we want to move closer to, what we want to move further away from, and what it is that we want to bring to life. So it is going to be a test in us managing our energy correctly. And of course, that Aries energy wants to take action without thinking, wants to take action just for the sake of moving the body. So my best recommendation is to engage the physical body in tasks and chores, especially where cleaning up your environment is concerned, in order to actually get that energy out so that it's not bouncing around like a pinball and making yourself a little bit anxious, if you will. So there are a lot of things that we can be doing with this energy, but taking action, jumping into something new is not on the list. So please, please resist the temptation to do those things. So there are 9 different aspects here today. 8 of them are going to involve the moon. The moon in Aries is going to make a positive interaction with Jupiter, the planet of growth, expansion, beliefs, abundance, and blessings, who is retrograde in this Taurus energy, reflecting in our inner realm, seeing how much we've grown, seeing where it is that we push the boundaries of our comfort zone, seeing where it is that new opportunities to create a little bit of a better place, a better space in our physical realm is now pulling us in a different direction to rearrange, to redesign, to restructure how it is that we've been living. Of course, emotionally speaking, an interaction with Jupiter always boosts our confidence, our self-esteem, always puts us in a state where we bite off more than we can chew. And again, with this moon in Aries, we're going to have to resist the temptation to do just that. Instead, take this time to percolate on the plan and strategy that you need to be putting together so that you're not wasting your energy, you're not out in the world taking actions willy-nilly, and that you're not wasting your energy pre this eclipse event. Please, when I say to you that we are not in control, that this is not a time of action and initiation, please do not waste your energy. You will be creating situations and circumstances that you will have to go back to and clean up before you're actually able to proceed on the path, on the direction in which you actually want to pursue. So this is definitely going to bring a huge illumination to a new mood, to a new attitude, and likely to a new perspective on what it is that you're fired up about, what you're passionate about, what it is that you truly desire. Hopefully you can tap into the excitement, the passion, the inspiration type of energy. But sometimes anger and frustration are a great fuel to the fire to kind of get your ass moving, get your mind moving, get your heart space in gear on what it is that you want to bring to life from here. Mars, the god of war, ruling over our physical energy, our drive, our passion, our desires. He's in his rulership in Scorpio energy, and again rules over the Aries energy that the moon is currently in, making a little bit of a not so nice interaction with Neptune. Neptune, of course, retrograde in his place of power, and this Pisces energy helping us to really kind of attack, confront a lot of the issues in which we normally run away from, that we normally avoid within ourselves, especially where fears, doubts, insecurities are concerned, where the not so nice narratives keep us in a stuck looping behavior, if you will. Mars interacting with Neptune in this way, because it's water on water, there is a lot of healing, a lot of cleansing, a lot of transformation that needs to happen. But in this particular case, I think that the healing The change, the transformation is more about letting go and releasing than it is kind of adding to our lives and creating something new. Again, considering the fact that we are in the full moon window, that is a time of full illumination on what it is that we have to let go of, what we have to surrender to, what we have to close the door on. Not adding to our lives, but subtracting from our lives at this particular point in time. The moon is then going to semi-square Saturn. Saturn, of course, the Lord of Karma. He's retrograde in Pisces energy. He's helping us to dissolve, to deconstruct the old realm of beliefs. And of course, the old version of self that had those old beliefs that created the realm and reality that we are currently discontent staying in. The moon semi-squaring Saturn is definitely going to bring us a little bit of a bitch slap of truth, reality check, if you will, where it is that we have to calm ourselves down, have a little bit of patience, which is a hard thing to come by with this moon in Aries energy. However, the Saturn energy definitely pumping the brakes where the moon in Aries is stepping on the gas, and for good reason. We have to tame the fires within, cultivate that energy, really make sure that it's strong enough to last the test of time that it's going to need to take to build the new structures and foundations in our lives, this new version of self, this new passion, this new desire, this new creator energy that we are all percolating on. The moon is then going to come up to bump into, team up with Chiron, the wounded healer, who is retrograde in Aries energy, helping us to examine the parts of ourselves that we're not really vibing with, the parts of ourselves that are holding on to the pain, to the trauma, to the old experiences of our egoic identity. And of course, we're all going through an identity quote unquote crisis. However, I like to call it a rebranding, so to speak. The moon entering into this little interaction with Chiron is definitely going to either illuminate where it is that we're growing, where it is that we're healing, what it is that we're changing, what it is that we're transforming, or it's going to illuminate the wounds, the poor woe is me, the oh, I can't do this because of this reason, the justifications, the delusions in which we continue to tell ourselves because, of course, we are the problem. We are blocking ourselves from emerging as this new version of self. We're hooked up, tied on to the circumstances of the past and the version of ourselves that we had to be. And we are now in a particular time frame where we're emerging as this new version of self, but many of us not feeling equipped or prepared to do all of the things that just happen to be the hard things, to eliminate, deconstruct, release, surrender all of the old attachments, all of the old cords that are still keeping us very, very tied to the past. The moon is then going to interact with Venus in not the nicest way. Venus, of course, the goddess of love, beauty, worth, pleasure, and money. She's in her fall in Virgo energy, meaning she doesn't really enjoy being here. Mostly because the Virgo energy is more mental than heart space, more analytical than kind of just free-falling with our emotions. And we're not as easily able to truly tap into our heart space, to truly show our affections, to truly see where it is that we want to be a little bit more real, raw, and vulnerable with those that we're choosing to keep around in our particular circumstance. So because this is not the nicest interaction, this is going to illuminate for us where it is that we're feeling frustrated, exhausted, where it is that we're beating our head against a wall, trying to compromise and negotiate with some of these peoples that we're choosing to continue to interact with in our lives. Of course, that Virgo energy wants to identify the problem in order for us to fix, heal, repair. And for the most part, we're just not jiving so well with our inner realm of emotions. Again, a lot of it gets stuck in that mental plane, and we're just dissecting a lot of emotions that we should be feeling instead of thinking of feeling. And therefore, we are a little bit agitated, a little bit frustrated, a little bit kind of done with certain conversations, certain, let's call it negotiations, compromises. We're just done with certain elements of our relationship dynamics, of our physical realms, of this particular person that we had to be, that of course is operating on the old egoic programming that has very low self-esteem, very low self-respect. We are growing in that feature. We've been growing in that feature since June when Venus entered into Leo energy. She proceeded to retrograde in that energy. She had her resurrection, her rebirth, and since then we have been actively taking small little opportunities to adjust our heart space, our head space, our physical circumstances to start mirroring the vision, the dream in which we actually want to manifest. The moon is then going to interact with Uranus in a positive way. So this is going to bring a little bit of clarity into the realm of our existence. The Uranian energy, although retrograde in Taurus energy, is highlighting for us where it is that we're afraid to let go of some of the elements that we've created in the past. We have this fear that even though we're not really content with certain situations and circumstances in our lives, that if we let them go, that the universe isn't going to fill that space with something better. Those fears, those doubts, those insecurities blocking us majorly at this point in time on being able to release the weight from our past situations and circumstances and aligning with a new vision, new dream, new opportunities to shift our realities in a much better way. The moon interacting with Uranus in this way is definitely going to shake up and wake up our inner realm of thought and emotion and kind of put on a plate, if you will, a new perspective, new information, new details, new ideas, new epiphanies that we just can't unknow. And hopefully, because of the moon in Aries, we're easily able to kind of burn through those connections, burn through the cords, if you will, keeping us stuck in that particular pattern and behavior. The moon is then going to interact with Venus once again, this time a beautiful interaction. So this tells me that the awareness, the information, the perspective change coming in from Uranus's interaction with the moon suddenly shifted our mood and our attitude, our thoughts and our feelings in a positive way. And now we're having some realizations in our heart space, in our head space on what it is that we actually want to pour some time, energy, and attention into as far as fixing, healing, repairing not only ourselves go, but some relationship dynamics as well. The moon is then going to come up to team up with the North Node in Aries energy. Of course, that is our soul path, our destiny point, trying to get us on the right path for this new mission, for this new purpose that our soul absolutely has to pursue. Now, this is going to be a little bit of a reminder, a little bit of a refresher, if you will, on where it is that we have to do better, what we have to improve, where we have to pivot, what we have to leave behind, what we have to open our arms up to, and where it is that we have to be a little bit more straightforward with ourselves on what it is that we actually want to pursue from here. The moon is then going to interact with Neptune, this time in a much better interaction, which is a huge indication that we are starting to percolate on new visions, on new dreams, on new passions, on new desires. We are starting to piece together where it is that we're becoming inspired and motivated and determined, if you will, on really aligning with our higher selves, doing the spiritual work, releasing ourselves from some of the darkness, some of the weight, some of the pain, some of the trauma. Again, we are in Scorpio season doing the shadow work, reminder. And because of that, new visions, new glimpses coming through. There is new downloads coming in, really pivoting us from the current path in which we've been stagnant on and putting us in a good type of position to see what it is that our higher self now is asking us to pursue.